Hello everyone, today's video is going to be a really exciting video. It is a collab with my friend Andi from AndiDoesStuff. I will of course leave her channel linked down below. I love Andi, her videos are so calming to me, and she has just been such a great friend to me over the past little while. We've been chit-chatting off and on for a little bit, and she has done some collabs. She primarily collabs with Leanna and Donna from My New Obsession or My New Makeup Obsession or something like that. I love both of their channels as well, and I'll leave everyone linked down below. And a lot of the collabs between Leanna and Andi, they are very makeup topic focused in terms of real world, and I love that mindset of like makeup talking, because I feel like not enough people are talking about more challenging topics that are said within the beauty community. So we were talking about doing a collab, and there has been a trend going around the last couple months about 2016 is the new 2026. And it's been a trend not just in the beauty makeup community, but other avenues as well, like lifestyle and things like that. But the 2016 makeup time, that was a time, if we all remember, and 2016 was 10 years ago. And I was 14 and I was struggling with all the normal 14-year-old things. Andi is a little bit older than 24 years old, and so she has just been in a different time of her life 10 years ago versus what my life was 10 years ago. So this is just really interesting to kind of see differences, maybe some similarities. At least I am doing in this collab a full face of makeup. I have pulled out some OG makeup favorites to do my entire face today, like Too Faced Born This Way foundation, Hoola bronzer, the Benefit Hoola bronzer. I have Benefit Professional here. You know, I have a Naked palette from Urban Decay, some like OG makeup products that we're gonna put on my face. My topic here today is I don't want 2026 to be the new 2016. Both in my mindset, in my makeup style, I have definitely came a long way, and it is okay to change, it is okay to grow, and it's one of those things like 2016 was a time. Things always come and go, they come in waves, they come back every couple years, and 2016 definitely was a time. So my first product here, we're just gonna go with the Professional from Benefit. I have never owned this before, and it is still sealed. So I'm gonna take the seal off and I'll use the primer, but we're gonna be using this today. And then for concealer, I don't have any like OG makeup favorites concealers right now. I'm using the oldest to me personally, which is Wet n Wild Incognito. Love that one. And then my foundation of choice today is going to be the Too Faced Born This Way. And this one is a newer bottle. And this is in the shade Snow. And I am as fair as paper, so I need to mix it. So I'm gonna mix it with some LA Girl, the white foundation mixing pigment. And then my powder, I am going to bring out my MAC Studio Fix. 2016 was a time when we had like matte full coverage foundation. And I remember, was it 2016 or was it even before that, where people were using like BB creams and CC creams, like light coverage foundations, as like a base primer step. And then they would put another foundation on top of it. And then they would set their face with a powder foundation, because this product does give coverage. Was it 2016 or was it before? I have no clue, but this is sputtering all over the place. I don't know how much to use, and who knows, maybe I'm using too much of it. It is definitely a weird texture. I don't know if I like it. Is this what everyone raved about? And it's gonna pill down my neck, like everything pills down my neck. It kind of is pilling like as a whole. I feel like it's just pilling. Maybe this primer is not very good. It does not give me strong hopes for my concealer or my foundation. Let's do huge triangle, shall we? Like old time's sake. And then I have some blemishes we gotta take care of. But 2016 for me, we already said that I was 14 years old. So I was at the very tail end of middle school, going into high school, and like pretty much any kid, you know, definitely had some issues, self-confidence issues. There was some bullying at school that I just kept to myself because, you know, it's not like anything's gonna be done about it. You know, I did not have many friends. I tried pretty hard to get friends, and, you know, it's very difficult. And I was a kid who struggled socially, we'll call it. In 2016, like, I definitely had some makeup. It was nothing, you know, major. I was 14 years old. I wasn't really, like, I was wearing it to school. It was probably more like the, what is it called? The eyeliner and stuff. The emo eyeliner. We've all been there, I swear to you. But it was more like that, to kind of hide behind. I did not wear makeup anywhere near the extent that I do now. Like later in high school and stuff like that, I definitely had those sorts of things. I started my Instagram in 2018, actually. So, well, my time frame is just like 2 years before I started my Instagram. And I started my Instagram, I've said this before, but a guy at school, he was saying about how, like, I, you know, do all my makeup stuff. And I usually would do makeup when I would come home from school, and I would come home from school and I'd go up and I would like pretend to make a video. I have wanted to make YouTube videos for a very long time, and I would pretend to kind of just do my makeup and chat about makeup because I had no one else to talk to about it. But he told me, he's like, you know, there is people that would want to, you know, talk about makeup with you, enjoy seeing the makeup that you do. And so that's what I decided to do 2 years later. I decided to do my makeup Instagram. And, you know, if it wasn't for him trying to convince me to just do it, then I probably wouldn't be here today, actually. Probably would have started my Instagram much later. Because for me to have like the self, you know, motivation, self-confidence to go about doing something like that, put me out there that much, like, it takes a lot. Had my channel for what, two and a half years. I'm kind of just buffing this powder everywhere. I've had it for two and a half years. If like my mom didn't like push me to start YouTube and friends on Instagram to just push me to just do it, I probably still would not have done it. My confidence level back then was very, very, very low. And back in 2018 on my Instagram, like, I only posted my eye and nothing else because I did not feel comfortable showing my face. I'm gonna do my brows with none only than the ABH Dip Brow. This one I have had for a very long time, and I've been using it every single day, and it is almost done. So we're going to be using this today, and then I am going to be using my Coffee Free the Brow. This wasn't a thing back in 2016, but it is the brow gel I currently have open, and that's what we're using. But self-confidence, nowhere. I mean, my self-confidence still is not very high. It is definitely something I'm working on. But 2016, 2018 era, definitely no self-confidence. There, I had a lot of internal dislike towards myself. And as any 14-year-old tends to be, I was very confused about myself, about other people. And I was just confused about life. I was confused about my own self. And like any true 14-year-old, like, you know, you're just struggling mentally. And one of those things was, like, I was not diagnosed with any sort of anxiety or depression until much, much, much later. but I can 110% say on my life that the depression I had back then was very, very bad, and I tried to hide it very, very well. And because I was one of those people that, like, I'd wake up first thing in the morning and I would get ready, go to school, do well at school, come home and do whatever. And when I was 14 years old, I was not old enough to have a job. So, like, the only thing I had to focus on was school, and I did not like school. And like, I struggled every year to go back to school, and I hated it so bad. A lot of the people and stuff just did not make high school very, I guess, fun or welcoming or anything like that. And I was not a fan. And I used makeup as an escape, and I used makeup as like an outlet. But at the time, like, you know, your depression can, you know, be so bad, like, you don't eat as often, or you don't shower, like the, you know, personal hygiene wise. And like, especially in the summertime when I did not have a like set schedule, like I was old enough to like stay home during the summer while my parents were at work, but like I wasn't old enough to have a job. So I slept in until who knows God when every day, and I showered maybe once a week and did not eat very well at all. You know, very rarely did I go out and like do things. It was very much like hide in your room and kind of disassociate to things. I don't know, looking back on it, like I feel very sad about that portion, but I use makeup as an escape. And how I use makeup now is I use it more as a creative or artistic expression, and I don't do it for other people. And today we are going to be doing a more neutral look because that's just the type of palette I have, and that's the vibes of 2016 and like what I did back then, a lot of neutral. But you know, usually most of the time I'm doing color, and I'm doing all sorts of stuff. So one of the eye primers that I really remember is like Urban Decay had their primer potion. This hair keeps like sticking up or to the side, and it's annoying the crap out of me. Too Faced had their Shadow Insurance. I don't think I had eyeshadow primer at the time, but I remember that the NYX eyeshadow stick in Milk was a go-to for many, many, many people on the internet. And I don't have NYX Milk, and I wasn't going out and buying anything for this video either. So my closest thing to a cream eyeshadow stick is a cream eyeshadow in a pot. And I'm using the e.l.f. No Budge Cream Eyeshadow in the shade Wispy Cloud, because this is a white color, and we would have used something very similar. I say we, like we were all in the same boat. I don't think I had eyeshadow primer. I think I was just using concealer, and I'm not doing that. Yeah, I'm pretty certain I just used concealer, and that's it. I am pretty certain. Like, I knew the type of makeup I did in 2018 because I have like physical proof of it, like on my Instagram. Like, I can go back and see all the looks. Like, if you so wanted to, you can go back and see all the looks I did in 2018. But I don't know how complex eyeshadow wise I did. Like, if we had like magnetic singles putting in Z palettes, if we had like water activated eyeliners like readily available at that time, like I would have been all for it. And like I said, no job. So the only makeup I really owned was whatever my mom would willingly just buy for me, which is usually anything and all CoverGirl at the time. My mom, I think, was definitely a CoverGirl mom. Let me know what your mom was, or like what you were back then. But like, my mom was definitely a CoverGirl mom. Or I used my mom's makeup, which she did not have much, and she still does not have like much, because she doesn't really wear makeup. And I'm gonna be using my Urban Decay Naked Reloaded. This is the only Naked palette I've ever owned, and I do have two pans, but we're gonna be using this palette today, simply because of nostalgia. But I did not have like much makeup, like at all. At the time, it was whatever I got for Christmas. I would get birthday money, Christmas money. I don't know if makeup was like a priority purchase during 2016. It definitely was in 2018. This shade, Blur, is like the best transitional shade in my entire collection. There's a reason why I have huge pan on it. And at first I hated the way how some of the pans are bigger, like this pan's bigger and this pan's bigger, but they picked a good shade to be put in a big pan because it is gorgeous. But how I kind of like spend my makeup now, I guess, is like makeup to an extent is a priority for like BS spending. Like I don't need makeup, but like if I had, you know, money to BS spend, then makeup would probably be where I would focus more of that on. Like tattoos are considered a BS spend. Anything artsy is a BS spend. When we go out on trips and stuff, like I definitely BS spend on like mugs or magnets or something like that, like a physical good. I used to have a picture of like what my makeup collection would look like, and it was small. And many moons ago, my mom got me and my sister, like it looked like a school desk, like an actual school desk. She got us those for Christmas one year, you know, to have a desk in our room. And like I had all my makeup stuff at one time on that desk, and I did my makeup at that desk. It was a very small desk, but it worked. It worked for me, and honestly, I just did whatever worked for me. Christmas time, they had like color workshop sets, like those really cheap makeup kits that you can get in those huge packages at Christmas time. Those are things that I would get just because they were cheap. It came with a lot of stuff, and you were just a little bit more creative. Or Claire's, we had a lot of Claire's makeup, and I'm getting some fallout. Not much, it's just some fallout. Claire's makeup was a really big thing that we used to use, and I'm saying we as like me and my sister. At the time, my sister was more into makeup than I am, or I was. And I was more into, I guess, the other drawing. I don't know if I painted at the time. I definitely drew more like physical art. I guess you can consider makeup a physical art. But my sister definitely had more makeup than I did. She definitely had more of an interest in makeup than I do. Now she like barely wears it. And I am the one that, of course, is the one that primarily wears it. But back then, like she also was doing really more creative makeup, and she was definitely more into it than I was. Then she switched her thing to nails, which if you see me sharing any nails on Instagram, those are my sister. She has lemon nails on at the time I'm filming this. She's really good. And me, I just paint them. For my like BS spending, I guess. I don't know if I was spending it all on makeup. I have a horrible memory. Maybe because of all the trauma. I don't know. We are not going to use glitter primer, because I don't think at the time there was a glitter primer. We are going to use a shimmer in the palette. But I want to come on here and say that ColourPop became a thing in 2015. And what was one of the very first things they started making? Super Shock shadows. So we are going to use this one. This one's probably a little dried out. This is Frog. It is the Ultra Glitter. It's the only one I have. I do have pan in it, and we're going to be using that today. Like I said, don't know how dry it is, but I'm not putting glitter primer on. I think I'm going to put Reputation on the outer lid, and we'll go from there. And we'll put Frog on. It's a pretty nice shadow. I don't know why I don't use this as often as I do. This palette used to be like my lucky palette. Like any job interview I did, I think I wore that. Did I wear this to my college graduation? I think I wore it on my high school graduation. Like my lucky palette. I was gonna say, I've worn this on like me and my fiance's like first like real dress up date. Definitely dry. It would have been a lot better if I had glitter primer. But these shadows are going on pretty good for not having any glitter primer. And I don't have any notes for this video. I'm kind of just like going off of a whim. And that's kind of how most of, if not all of my videos go. I'm doing the lower lash line using the same shadows that I used on the top. But I think most of my makeup I wore to like school and stuff, pretty certain it was like eyeliner. I was really into like goth, alternative, emo sort of people and things, and most of the people I watched on YouTube were goth YouTubers. The other day, actually, like, I was just thinking about it, like, do these people still make YouTube content? They do. Not as often as they did before, but I really wanted to be part of that scene, and my mom, I don't think, was for it at all. And I'm gonna put Bribe here. It looks like a matte eyeshadow, but it has a slight sheen to it. And I'm gonna put that on my inner corner because it's just gonna give a nice brightening on that inner corner. I'm also gonna put on my brow bone. That is a product placement that I do not do at all anymore. I'm gonna use a nice fluffy Sydney Grace brush to do that. It was not a thing. I don't ever do brow bone highlight anymore. Do you guys still do this? And I used to put like very shimmery stuff up here. But like this just I don't know if you can see, I can see it in my mirror. It just gives a nice little sheen. Nothing major, but like this is the basic eye look we're going with today. We're gonna talk about blush, bronzer, and highlighter because we're here. Benefit Hoola Bronzer, and I have a mini size of it. I think it's a little too dark. I primarily just use it in the summertime, but it's been very off and on weather recently, so I have obviously not gotten any color. Pulled out my OG Milani Luminoso. This is their baked powder blush. Beautiful. And I really wanted to skip highlighter altogether because if I think of myself back then, I did not have highlighter. If I did have a highlight on, I used eyeshadow. But I am going to pull in my Lorac highlighter. This is the oldest product that is in my collection. And I tried to pan it last year. Very unsuccessful at it. I'm gonna go with highlight first because, you know, this does have a little bit of a blinding effect, and I really don't want like the highlight to be like ba-bam. As you can see on this side, it's really bright. May add a little bit more at the end, but I think I'm just gonna really buff it out. And the blush does have a little bit of a sheen. I talked about how like my confidence was not there at all. Makeup was an escape of sorts, and I just struggled mentally, and it was not a fun time. And if I could take my makeup carefreeness from back then and use that today, like I used what I had to the best of my ability, because I did not have the means to go out and purchase makeup. I did not. And if I could have the creativity that I used to have, like I would do so many looks. I would do so many different things on my eyes, on my face, with very minimal amount of product, because I simply didn't have the products. And there are plenty of makeup that I wanted, like Hoola Bronzer. I had no means of money to purchase this, but I definitely used other stuff, you know, in lieu of, you know, this bronzer. How is this looking? I think it's looking a little harsh. I need to blender more. I didn't have all this stuff. And like my mom my mom was not a makeup mom. No, she was not. She only wore like a little, maybe some eyeshadow, mascara, and, you know, out and about. on special occasions. She did not do her makeup every day. She did not set me up in that way. Like, I was not taught makeup by my mom. I did not see her ever really apply makeup. So everything that I've learned from makeup, I have learned on YouTube. And so like my mom did not understand, you know, why the Benefit Hoola bronzer was the best bronzer money could buy you. And it's not cheap bronzer either. And I feel like at the time, was there really drugstore focused channels? And if there was, like, I definitely watched Jessica Braun. I loved her channel. Pretty certain it was 2016 I started watching Jessica Braun. I loved her old videos. There are sometimes I feel nostalgic. And I go back and I watch old videos from YouTubers I used to watch back in the day. Does anyone else do that? Put your hand up in the comments. I go back and watch the old like everyday makeup drawer videos from Jessica Braun, old hauls from Jessica Braun. There was a YouTuber, her name was Pink Sparkles. My sister knows. We were obsessed with Pink Sparkles. But she did like some beauty, a lot of hauls. And like I stopped watching her altogether because she did like so much plastic surgery and like she just started acting like an idiot all the time. And it's just like too much for me. I can't do that. But 10-15 years ago, like it was like pure gold when she like lived at her parents' house. And I remember when she like bought her first house, and like just I would watch her old videos just to feel like nostalgic. And there was some other videos as well, but like you just feel nostalgic. And I feel like anybody at the time, I would watch makeup collection videos and storage sort of videos, going through all that. And like people really enjoy watching them now, but back when you're 14, you literally have no way of making money. And so you can't purchase anything. And it was like a jealousy thing where I'd go and I would see people with their Alex drawers or those like clear little plastic drawers similar to that, and like just filled with makeup. And I just could not, there was no way I could feasibly do that. And there was a lot of jealousy, and there was a lot of, what should I call it? I don't know, just a lot of jealousy, because like I wish I could have that and I couldn't. Something I used to do back then that I definitely do not do now, I protect my peace a lot more now, is that I would watch people that definitely lives a life that I could never attain to, and then I would purposely watch them to make myself feel bad about myself. And like, if it was one of those things, like you already have the negative mindset, you just feed into more negative energy and negative, like a negative outlook. Like why would I purposely watch people to then make myself feel worse? I don't understand it. I don't get it. Why? But that is something that I did, and I definitely don't do now. There are a lot of people who I purposely don't watch because they make me feel bad about my life. My life doesn't look like theirs. They have the big house. They have all this and the other. And it makes me feel bad about myself, and I don't watch them because I protect my peace. I'm gonna spray my face with Max Fix Plus. This is the Stay Over line, but any Max Fix Plus. I used a lot of powder, and I would like a little of it to die down. And is this like a long-lasting setting spray? I don't know. But you want to know what was very long-lasting at the time of 2016? Liquid lipsticks. So we're going to be using my Ulta Mini Liquid Lipstick. Don't know the shade. This is the High Shine Liquid Lipstick. It's in a really pretty, like, natural pinky nude color. Very 2016 vibes. And while we wait for this to dry, and we're gonna be doing eyeliner. At the time, like Kat Von D eyeliner, very big. which I do have the brown version, but I kind of want black because I don't think we had brown at the time. Stila, their black liquid eyeliner pencil, that was definitely a thing. I'm trying to think of like channels. When I was talking about, I purposely would watch channels that make me feel bad about myself, and then maybe you're thinking, oh, you're watching people in a different stage of life. There was a channel, and I can't remember what it was. It was like a group channel, like multiple families would do it, and they had, like, it was kids on screen, you know, doing like, you know, preteen sort of things and topics and stuff, but they were like rich kids, and like they're like back to school hauls and stuff like that. I would, you know, feel bad about myself because like my mom couldn't afford like a $500 like Hollister haul, and like I don't know why Hollister is like such a thing in my head. Probably because I didn't fit like most of the clothes there. Now things are more Plus exclusive, but at the time, Plus was not really a thing. And I'm also going to use a white eyeliner because people would use that NYX Milk Stick in their eyeliner, in their lower lash line to make their eyes look bigger. But it was a channel where like it was multiple parents, multiple kids, and they would upload videos. And there was one girl in particular, her room was like pink Paris themed, and I wanted a pink Paris themed room so bad. So we lived in, they still live, my parents, but the house is very, very, very old. So my dad like gutted my room, and it had like horsehair plaster and stuff. So he put new insulation in, new drywall, all of that. And when it came down to when I had to pick the paint of my room, I picked this bright ass pink because I wanted a pink Paris themed room, and nothing Paris themed was in the room. But I really wanted, what the kids I was watching on YouTube had, and I didn't get it. I mean, I got my pink walls, but I did not have the overall vibe. I purposely just did 2 really thick layers of mascara just on the top lash line, lashes, nothing on the bottom, because at the time, like, I did not wear it on the bottom. Honestly, the eyes look very nice. I think it looks really pretty. I think it would look even better if I glitter glue to help out that Super Shock shadow. But overall, like, this to me is very 2016. If I really wanted 2016, I would have done a cut crease, a neutral cut crease. But I didn't do that sort of thing in 2016. Face is definitely bronzy. That's definitely a look that happened. But the eyes, here, I'll show you an up close of the look. But the eyes are very, very, very pretty and basic. And overall, I really, really like this look. So, like, as a recap, in 2016, I was very self-conscious. And, you know, I had a lot of self-hatred. I had a lot of negative energy that, you know, trying to suppress as much as possible. And now, like, I definitely have self-confidence issues, don't get me wrong, but there is a level of self-confidence you need to put yourself on camera for all of the internet to see. You definitely need to have some sort of self-confidence to come out on camera and do that, or take photos of yourself and put them on Instagram. Like, you need some sort of self-confidence to come out here and do the things that I've been doing for the last, like, many years. Definitely a lot of self-confidence issues. I am much more positive now than I was back then. Like, I still have my fair share of depression and anxiety issues, flare-ups, things like that, but it is nowhere near what it was back then. Like, hygiene-wise, like, I was definitely someone who did not take care of myself in the slightest, but like now I shower every day, so that's a plus. Makeup wise, like, I used to use makeup either to hide myself behind, or as an escape from reality, or I was trying my best to make myself either look prettier, make myself look like other people that I could not be attaining. And now like, I don't even do my makeup every day to go to work. Like I just don't care. That's kind of the way I think of it. Makeup for me is a calming activity. Makeup for me now regulates, you know, everything that's going on in my noggin, and it gives me a creative outlet. Makeup for me now just like gives me a creative outlet, and I'm able to come out here and share with you guys. And I also don't have the feeling that I need all the new and popular makeup, because at the time I definitely felt that. And a couple years ago, I felt myself needing to kind of heal my inner self. And like, that is why I purchased, I don't even know where it is. Like, that is why I purchased Benefit Hoola Bronzer, because my previous self was trying to reminisce on a past self that I couldn't be attaining. So my later self was attaining it for my past self. I've seen me do that multiple times. Like, there was products that were popular many years ago I was not able to get for XYZ reason. So now I have the means to do so. And then now I'm trying to buy that product to like heal my inner self. And there is no reason to do that. And I'm trying to keep myself like in check. Like, you don't need to do that. And I have decluttered a lot that has gone through that mentality. Hoola Bronzer still stays though. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's just very bronzy for right now. Summertime is a different question. I'll probably use it a lot more in the summertime. My makeup style and my mentality towards makeup and across the entire life that I have is a lot better now than it was in 2016. And for me personally, I don't want 2016 vibes to alter and destroy my 2026 vibes. And I understand the trend. 2016 overall in the world, a simpler time. You know, things were a little bit different than now, and people just want an escape, and that makes sense. But in my collab here with Andi, and I cannot wait to see her video and see what she has to say, because like I said at the very beginning, different avenues of life, different stages of life that me versus her has had 10 years ago. But I don't want the negative energy to alter my now energy. And I hope I come out on my channel with as much positivity as I possibly can give out. And I focus more on using my collection, and I focus more on loving what I have. And I'm trying to go back to that mindset I did like back then, where like just using what you have and making do, and actually really liking that process and liking the end result. Because I am trying to do that more now, using my old products. None of these are new that I showed you today. Some of these are very, very old. And like the palette, the Luminoso blush has been years old. I'm hoping now and into the future, I continue to grow as a person. And like the last 10 years was a lot of developmental learning and very good growing that I have had within the last 10 years. I am definitely not the person I was 10 years ago. And I hope when I am 34, in an additional 10 years, that I could maybe go back on this video and like, you know, want to pat myself on the back, or, you know, see how far I've grown in those next 10 years. You know, if YouTube is still a thing in the next 10 years, we don't know. But I cannot wait to watch Andi's video. And if you came from Andi's channel, welcome. I already said about some things I do on this channel. A lot of using what you have, project panning, eyeshadow related content, makeup related content. So if you guys are coming across my channel for the first time, and I highly recommend you subscribe. If you enjoyed the video or the topic, make sure you like this video, hype it up so more people can find it, and comment down below, like, what has changed in the last 10 years for you? Like, were you just in a totally different headspace? How has your makeup style and makeup maybe collection has changed from 10 years ago to now? I would honestly love and chit chat with you guys in the comments. and it totally makes my day when I get a little notification that someone commented on my video, and it just sets me off to a very positive mindset. And I can't wait to hear you guys' answers down below and hear you guys' thoughts and opinions down below. But I love and I truly appreciate all of you guys who come onto my channel and support me, and I love and appreciate all of you guys so much. And I shall see you guys next time.